Hi there, my friend. My name is Pastor Greg. This is Transforming the World. Odd question for you today. Um, what have you ever given up in your life in worship of Jesus? Have you ever given up anything in your life in worship of Jesus? Or better yet, are personal sacrifices in my life an act of thoughtfulness, but this time that thoughtfulness is directed toward Jesus? It's a good question. Good question. Let's examine that question in just a moment. Again, I'm Pastor Greg. This is Transforming the World. I'll be back in just a moment. In Luke chapter 7, verses 36 through 50, we're introduced to a woman who was a sinner, was, past tense. This woman happens to just kind of pop in on a dinner party. There's a Pharisee by the name of Simon hosting Jesus at this elaborate dinner party. The woman finds out, she kind of pops in, sort of makes a scene, if you will. You know, everyone's eating, they're talking, and here's this woman sobbing. She takes an alabaster jar of perfume and breaks it open. And what's interesting is these perfume bottles, you may not know this, but these perfume bottles, especially this alabaster perfume, in order to open the bottle, you had to break the neck, which meant that not only was the bottle broken and then discarded, but its contents needed to be used up right away. And so an alabaster jar of perfume was something that was used once, and it was very costly. And so this woman sacrifices a very valuable jar of perfume, pours it on the feet of Christ, and she, anoints Jesus. Christ's reaction to all of this, though, indicates that her sacrifice was an act of thoughtfulness. Now, as I said, also present in this room was a guy by the name of Simon. He was a Pharisee. And if you compare his actions with that of the woman, Jesus seems to point out that, well, here's what he says in verses 45 and 46. He's comparing the actions of the woman and the actions of Simon. And you'll see how Christ is demonstrating, or how Christ elevates the thoughtfulness of the woman here. Listen to this. He says, talking to Simon, he says, you did not greet me with a kiss, but from the time I first came in, she's not stopped kissing my feet. You neglected the courtesy of olive oil to anoint my head, but she has anointed my feet with rare perfume. As I said, the woman actually broke open this valuable jar of perfume and poured it out on the feet of Christ. She sacrificed her entire way of life and worshiped Jesus Christ. I will say this, that the most important thing you and I can do in this world, the most important thing that you and I can do in this world is to worship Christ. Worship of the Lord is the most important thing in this world. In his thoughtlessness, Simon sacrificed nothing. Let me ask you this question here today. What in your life have you sacrificed for Jesus? I mean, it's obvious. When this woman poured out her life in the worship of Jesus Christ, Christ elevated that worship as an act of thoughtfulness. Thoughtfulness. Being heedful and mindful and considerate of the Lord. Simon, on the other hand, basically just cold indifference to who Jesus was, and he sacrificed nothing. What in your life have you sacrificed for Jesus? Have you given up past sins? Have you done that? Have you made changes in your priorities in life? Did you change careers? Were you in a career that was not God-honoring? And when you met Christ and accepted Christ as Lord, did you stop and say to yourself, my career is not God-honoring? And were you willing to make a career sacrifice as an act of thoughtfulness toward our Lord? Is the worship of Jesus the highest priority in your life? Or does the worship of Christ come second, third, or even fourth on the list? That you worship Christ when you have time. The sacrifices you make in your life for Jesus are demonstrations of thoughtfulness. You show the Lord that He's important to you and that you value who He is. I'm not sure if you've ever considered this, but worship and personal sacrifice toward Jesus is also an act of thoughtfulness. Well, we've been examining the characteristic of thoughtfulness this week, and I hope it's been beneficial for you, that it has made you stop and think about how you put your feelings into action, how you put your feelings toward others into action, more importantly, how you put your thoughts of Jesus into action. I'll see you on Monday. You have a blessed weekend. My name is Pastor Greg.